Hello and welcome to Can Capture's Life and Digital Special. I'm here with Rob Blake, Country Manager at Channel Factory. Rob, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Ed. Great to be here with you.
Yeah, and we're morning one.
Yeah, we are. We are full into can mode.
Yeah. When did you land?
Really late last night. The
Flight's
irony.
okay?
Yeah, well, it was delayed by like 3 hours. I think this is the story you're going to hear.
Yeah.
Through old Can. We had it seriously last year as well, where I think it was the UN were having a meeting about oceans.
Okay.
And then they blocked all the airport with their private jets, so no one could get out.
Love it.
Okay.
Once you're in, once you're here, it's kind of better, but getting home is obviously nice at the other end of it.
Yeah, exactly. Getting back is good.
Yeah.
So I'm working my way through the week, and then I'm on vacation, which I always plan straight after Cannes.
Where do you head to?
The Greek islands. So I'm heading to Catalonia with the family. Well, just me and my wife this time. The kids are old enough to stay behind and babysit and dog sit and do that stuff.
My favourite country in the world, Greece. It's always where we go to. It's such a guaranteed sun. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Good stuff. I know it's early days, but I was delighted with a brief chat off camera. And one of the questions was what's been happening at Cannes so far. And I know it's only midday on Monday, but it sounds like quite a lot already. So what's the scoop? What's the vibe going to be this year?
I think linen shirts are back in. No.
Yeah. Good. I got the memo.
Yeah, great. I think AI is going to be this big debate. I know people hate and cringe by the word of AI, but I had a very interesting roundtable today and was discussing with a lot of, I would say, industry leads about it. And the interesting fact that comes out of it is there's a fear around it. Right?
Yes.
I think there's a fear or misunderstanding on it, specifically in media.
Sorry to interrupt, but what do you think is driving the fear?
I mean, I'd hazard a guess, but I think it's like anything. It's communication and the ability to bring people on the ride, right? I think AI has gone from 0 to like 100 in 1 second. It's now integrated, and what are you using it for? How are you using it? And I think that's driven the fear from people because there hasn't been a takeoff, a start, a landing, and then now we're getting to the destination. It's gone straight teleportation to let's put AI in everything and see where it ends up.
Yeah, good stuff. And within your role at Channel Factory, speaking to your customers across the ecosystem you work within, where are you noticing AI make two questions? Sorry for double question. Where are you noticing AI make a difference, and are you seeing any genuine uses of it where it's driving productivity, efficiency? What's your take on where we are on that journey from talking about it to really heavy implementation?
I mean, we've been using it for quite a long time.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is a new product for us. I think it's something we've always integrated in our business. It's just become more prevalent as it's developed. So it's become more usable.
And the way it's used is different.
Yeah, exactly. And we're always under the basis that if we can teach our teams how to be better and manage AI, then effectively you reduce the stress and worry. Like, is it going to take my job? No. But do you think you can be more productive and be more open in the industry if you know how to use AI and be AI effective? Yes, kind of where it goes. And when we're seeing it, it's solving quite a few different problems for us. One of them is if you look at we mainly operate within the walled gardens. That's our kind of
that's your universe. Yeah,
that's our universe, and our claim to fame is building custom brand suitability for our brands and agencies to be able to buy against content that works for them. And how we've used AI in that factor is in things like indexing all of the content, right? Which when you buy YouTube, you can only buy up to 20,000 in one foul swoop.
Okay.
So someone has to manually vet or do that. So where we found is as long as you train AI without the bias, so this is the big question, right? It's like, and we class ourselves as sitting in what I would call Switzerland on that.
Yeah.
That it allows our team to also add the human element to do local nuances. And an example might be if you're in France, so we're in Cannes, someone who's living in Cannes is going to know Cannes better than someone who's living in Paris, right?
Yeah.
They may be French, but one is more regional and one is much more local.
Yes.
And having that local nuance and detail when it comes to media planning or specifics around content and the essence of how customers react with a brand, what content is aligned, is perfect if you're with people. So the combination of two works really sweet for us.
Yeah, just when you were speaking now, I was just thinking of a question that might be a bit off field. So does that enable brands who might have not previously been able to access premium inventory media because they don't hit the minimum spends, does that allow smaller brands or smaller D2C businesses into that world in a different way because there's localization?
Yeah, 100%. I think you've got kind of two sets of customers. You've got the big 500 brands
Yeah.
that can ask you the question, as we talked about earlier, in every board meeting. So what are we doing with AI after every marketing meeting
Yeah.
or whatever, that can utilize it in various aspects. The smaller brand, the guys that spend, maybe 30, 40 grand a year or something
Yeah.
on a media campaign, it's going to be really efficient because what they want is the ability to save costs, get the most out of their media budgets, and expand their voice or opinion or conversion rate or whatever it might be for their media plan effectively. And AI does that at a much cheaper cost for them, right?
It makes it accessible.
Yeah, exactly. So that opens up the accessibility. But then the other side of it is, with a bigger brand, you need, creative execution. They have something, and the smaller brands are not there yet. So I think it depends on the stage in the kind of evolution you are with it.
Yeah, they're at. And I know it's hard to look back a year ago, but if you think about a year ago to where we are today with AI in the conversation, what's the tangible change, if any?
I think the customer service relationship side has definitely become more prevalent, right?
Yeah.
I think automation around insights, data, feedback loops for us to understand more effectively how campaigns work with our technology team as well as our operations team. Also building out insights and customs, and also being able to align with various technology companies to swap back data to get the best out of it. And having an AI system building that for you has taken the time out of that incredibly for our employees. But the great thing is it enables them then to be able to spend the time on the stuff they really love, right? On strategy, on understanding more about what a client's talking about, having those deeper conversations rather than just becoming this robotic response unit, which is
Yes.
often prevalent in programmatic.
Yes, yeah, it's cool. What I see that as two things. One, a huge productivity gain, but also from a succession planning point of view, if you can replace yourself in the menial part of your job and you're able to then figure out how to take a step forward, you can just really work on the skills that take you to the next place, So I think there's that's real productivity gains there. And then with if it's okay to ask, with your Channel Factory hat on, what are the big themes for Channel Factory this week, and what do you think your customers are most interested to know about from Channel Factory?
I think some of the big things for us has always been the same on content, right? Content evolution, content suppliers, providers, people that generate content. It's the area we kind of work into, right? And you've seen recently a lot of the wall gardens are kind of what they're doing is taking away the guardrails to allow people to have a stronger voice. And there's a lot of opinion around that.
Politically driven, yeah.
Yes, great. From lots of different areas in that. What it's done for us, and it's a big conversation point, and it's where we sit as a business, is it's allowed us to be. We've always been this, but it's allowed us to even be stronger on our North Star, which is like we're Switzerland in that conversation,
Yeah,
right? We're not here to tell someone what content they can build and what they can't.
that's their choice.
Yeah, and we're not here to tell a brand where they can and can't go.
Yeah,
But what we can do is what it has done is enabled the conversation around how can they make that choice more effectively. And the example I always give, if relevance of running against the right content with the right ad, having the impact of doing it the wrong way, my biggest example is using the word Tesla.
yeah.
So you're by association with someone who says certain content, their brand has taken a dip, right?
Yes.
It's taken not just a dip,
It's taken a pounding.
It's taken a
And the
pounding.
cars quite literally have.
Yeah, yeah. There's been physical abuse.
Yeah.
But I can't, if he hadn't got involved in what he did, would that brand be where it is now? I'd probably not. Probably been in a different position.
Very true.
So aligning that, that's a great example, I think.
Yeah, so much so. And I think one thing that we're really keen to share is actual use cases that are working. So I'm not sure if you're able to share any of those personally or with Channel Factory, but you mentioned at the beginning of the call how it's taking your team on the journey. So for people who hear that, if you're thinking about that as someone who's in a leadership role, what practical advice do you think you could give to organisations when they're thinking about taking their team on an AI journey in a way that people feel comfortable with it, get on board with it, and actually hit the gains?
I think don't sell it. I think a lot of companies sell it into their employees rather than actually take their employees' feedback about best use. You'll probably find that the people you work with, know a lot more than you realise about the.
Of course, they're using it.
Yeah,
yeah.
They've already been using it. Been writing you emails about pay rises and everything forever
Little
on it.
shits.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you have to bring, like I always say, bring people on the journey. I think it's just this natural fact. If you're going to incorporate something into your company,
Yeah.
give them the benefits, give them an overview, get them as part and parcel, get them the feedback, the people that are going to use it, get them advanced on it. We've done that really successfully. I think it's we're very good at that at Channel Factory. We've brought people into the conversation when we talked about it. Like, well, our first question was like, what is it? How is it? What is AI, right? So where does it sit? Where do people want to use it? And then what's best for us to do it? So we done a big culture piece where we surveyed all of our employees to get feedback specifically about areas where they felt that they could use more support and more efficiencies in different ways. And one of the big ones was on like the heavy lifting jobs that not a lot of people in media love doing.
Yeah,
right?
reporting, which
Reporting, insights, that stuff, where they want to know how it can extract. So when we proposed it, we done it in a very methodical way, which was like explaining, giving a use case, showed examples how we potentially might do it, and then got a feedback loop going in and built it with an employer infrastructure.
Yeah.
So what I would say there is, this thing will evolve, right? And I think you can't. There is no hard rules on it. You've got to treat people as humans in that conversation. If you're thinking of it as like, hey, this is going to save me a load of money by getting rid of people, and I can use AI. It's not, right. I think that's not going to happen. In some roles it might do, but I think where you need human touch and where you need emotion and you need care, you need conversational, which is the media business. We're a people business, right? Let's not forget absolutely. That. And it's about communication and it's about relationships. It's not going to be able to replace that.
Yeah, no, we obviously in our role we sit day in, day out. It's really interesting. I think one thing that I really heard there was not to sell it to people. So I think boards need to be so mindful in terms of how they start the conversation, but starting with questions and feedback is naturally a really good place to start.
I think if you go into something with the sole vision of that is going to make me money and I'm going to save money, which I think it's like in anything that evolves, there's good actors and there's bad actors in this, and AI is only as good as the feedback loop it receives. So having a human intervention, we're going to have all sorts of questions. How are we going to deal with bias from the person that sets the prompts? How are we going to deal with their feeling and conversation on that? There's such a wide remit before that gets going. And I think that's where we need to be very mindful and really work with our teams and the industry. Really, I heard it today. The industry really want to come together and solve these conversations,
use cases,
because they're all feeling it the same.
Yeah.
And I think the media industry should be very, very strong at getting together. I think we've kind of detached a bit from ourselves. Tech's become one side, media agencies have become the other. And I think if we can get, clients speaking with the agencies more specifically using their skill set, they're very clever. They know what they're doing. They've been media planning by for a number of years.
Yeah.
And utilize that relationship stronger with them, it's going to make it much better, I think, and more efficient.
Yeah. And for we spoke about it's your sixth can. If someone's not come to can before and listening to this, what would be your advice on having a fantastic can? And as you said, it is a place to do business and to generate great music.
I think don't listen to the naysayers. They're just jealous because they're not here. But I think get your sun cream, get your rehydration tablets, drink lots of water, and mark your diary with effectiveness. So give yourself time between them. And also remember, meetings will move, meetings will get timed out. People are always running around. So don't beat yourself up if you're late or delayed. It's fine.
Yeah, great stuff. Thanks, Rob. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Ed.
Great.